Alright, try this again. This is Taylor Jackson's 200-pound snatch. He does pretty well with this, considering he hasn't had a lot of coaching. There's a couple things we want to look at. Look at how low he's starting here as he drives the bar off the ground, how low his hips are. Now if we go to the knee, you can see how his hips raise up, and if we get to the top of the knee, you can see the position he's at here. So this back angle is he's got really long legs, so he's getting a lot of back angle here. His hips are really high. It's not necessarily a bad thing as long as we can keep it under control, but we want to stay more consistent off the ground. So all this waviness in the back, the hips go up and then the shoulders come back up, we want to get rid of that and make it more solid. We want a consistent back angle from the ground to the top of the knee to the hang position. Now from there, he does pretty well. One thing, let me back up a second. If you get a better position at the ground, if his hips were higher, closer to where that line is, his shoulders would be a little bit more out over the bar, and he could get the weight more in the balls of his foot to start out with, and then push that weight back to the heels. So as he reaches the the knees, he would have a whole lot more leverage over the bar. His hamstrings would be loaded better. His lower back would be a lot tighter. Everything would just be more powerful from that position up. Since he is kind of losing back tension and losing hamstring tension on the way up, what ends up happening is he has to overwhelm the bar, the weight of the bar, with pure strength, and that's kind of what you're going to see happen here. So we're going to get rid of that line. As he reaches the top of the hip, he has to start pulling early. You can already see that arm bend coming in. Then he never reaches full triple extension with straight arms. So just from pure physics standpoint, he's not going to be able to get the bar speed on there. He could if he held off on that arm pull until his hips opened up all the way and got that big shrug and pull at the same time. What that causes is the bar to get out front. Now that bar is 6, 7 inches, 8 inches out away from his chest. And because of that, he's got to jump forward to catch it. You can watch his feet move forward here a good 4 or 5 inches. And even after jumping forward, he still has to struggle to slam his head under the bar to get the bar over his lats and over his heels so he can get into a good lockout position. He does a fairly good job of catching the bar at parallel, kind of riding it down, getting everything solid. He's really patient here. He doesn't rush it and try to stand up too fast like we've seen happen before. He gets settled into the bottom, and then he's able to stand it up nice and tall. One other thing from a setup perspective, look how wide his feet are. He could probably create more power, vertical application of power, if he got his feet farther in, had a little bit more of a narrow stance, more of a jumping position stance, and that would also allow him to move his feet a little bit more and not land too wide. That's a pretty wide position for the bottom of the snatch or bottom of the overhead squat. It's not terrible, but it's a little wide, so even though he has his knees out, you can see this kind of bad ankle position here. His ankle's kind of rolling in a little bit. His knees definitely rolled in a little bit. If his feet were in a little bit, he'd probably be able to stand up with a little bit more power, and I'm sure we see some issues there with the clean as well. So start a little bit more narrow, land a little bit more narrow, get the knees out, be in a better squat position. But overall, start better here, get the hips up a little bit, get your shoulders out over the bar, weight towards the middle of the foot, and then from there that you could get into a tighter position at the hang and hang on to that bar. Don't try not to pull it early. Finish your hip drive, get full extension, and right here your arm should still be dead straight, and then you can start that third pull and pull under and have the bar and a better bar path, and probably have a whole lot more bar speed. That bar would go up a lot easier. This 200 should be closer to 240.